I stopped using indicators. This is how real traders print money. In this video, I'm going to be talking about why you don't need 15 indicators, why you don't need to use all these complex terms and weird indicators to make money, and how you can keep it stupid simple. This is the type of wins that you can make if you keep it stupid simple. And these are wins from the community members because, again, they just keep it very simple. So let's go through the agenda for today's video. The first thing we're going to talk about is why indicators work in the first place, because it's probably not something you think about. The second thing we'll go through is the only one indicator that I use on a daily basis. And the third thing we'll talk about is what you should do instead of using 15,000 indicators. So let's get to it. So the first thing, like I said, we'll explain why indicators work in the first place. So on the screen, you can see a traffic light. Now you might be asking, why is there a traffic light? The reason there's a traffic light is because traffic lights and indicators are very similar, right? If you think about a traffic light, the reason everybody knows to stop at a red traffic light isn't because of, let's say, the color red. The red is just a color. Red doesn't mean anything. It's just a wavelength, right? But the reason everybody stops is because we've all agreed as humanity to say, listen, when you see this, when you see a big red dot, that means you have to stop your car. And it's the same exact idea with the green light, right? It's nothing to do with the color. It's literally wavelengths. But the reason everybody goes at green is because we've all agreed together as a collective to go at green, right? This is the exact same with indicators, right? The reason indicators work in the first place is because so many people, majority of people, have the same indicators on their chart. So when people see this, for example, this line over here, which is called VWAP, when they see this line over here and they see the price going up towards it, they know what to sell, right? And because everybody is using the same indicators, everybody ends up selling. That's why you see this insane amount of resistance. That's the reason indicators work. And this proves in like 2 seconds why all these complex, weird indicators with custom scripts and all this other crap doesn't work. Because if you have an indicator with a custom script, that means in the whole world, you're the only person with that custom script. Which means it's not going to work because nobody else can see that line. Nobody else can see that number at the bottom. Nobody else can see this line going through. Nobody else can see it. Only you can see it, which means it's not going to work. The reason VWAP works super well is because everybody uses it. And so when everybody sees that there's resistance at VWAP, everybody sells. That's the reason indicators work in the first place. That's it. This is what my screen, this is not my screen, but this is kind of what my screen used to look like back in the day. I would have so many indicators. There was this one called, I think, TTM squeeze indicator or something. It used to look similar to this. I used to have MACD, moving averages, VWAP, Bollinger Bands, RSI, all of this stuff because I thought the more indicators I have, the more money I make, which is super far from the truth. Because all that ends up happening is you get super confused. I can't even see the price. Where even is the price? Is this the price? Is this the price? Are these bars the price? Where's the price? You can't see anything. You need to keep it stupid simple. So now we'll go through the only one I use, and I've mentioned it, so you probably know what I'm talking about. The only one indicator I use is VWAP. And again, it's super simple. So let's go through some examples of when VWAP works insanely well. VWAP, for anyone that doesn't know, it's just called volume weighted average price. It's kind of like a moving average, but you account volume into it, right? I'm not going to talk about who invented it and when it was invented and all this other useless stuff. It doesn't matter. All you need to know is that it works super well. This is the only indicator I use. It's the only indicator. I don't use moving averages anymore. I don't use MACD or RSI, Bollinger Band, TTM squeeze. I use none of them. I literally just use VWAP. I'm going to explain to you why. So look at this. This is the gapper, right? And as the market opened, you see that it went down a little bit. That's when I bought. That's unrelated. And then it started going up. It went up and up and up and up and up and up. Then we saw this line, this like purple line, which is VWAP. And look what happened to the price when it touches VWAP. It went down for a little bit. It touches VWAP. Everybody sells. It goes down again. Tries going back up. Touches VWAP. Everybody sells. Goes down again. And then boom, it eventually just dies off. So if I didn't have VWAP, if I didn't have this line going through, I would be blind. I would literally be holding this. I was like, why are people selling at this zone? I don't see a line. Why is everybody selling it? But because I have VWAP on my chart, I know exactly to sell over here because I know there's a bunch of resistance. And that's how you can get out at amazing prices. Let's look at another example. Over here, you can see a very similar thing. This is another gapper. I entered over here And you can see as the stock was going up, it went close to VWAP. And you can see there's a lot of resistance on VWAP already. There's a lot of resistance on VWAP over here. And as a result, price rejects and it goes down and you can sell right over here. You would not have seen that if you didn't have this over here. VWAP is extremely powerful. So we looked at 2 exits. So now let's look at an entry. This stock over here, another gapper. You can see first it opened, it went down, it went up, it went down. And guess where it went down to? Do you think it went down to a moving average? Do you think it went down to a TTM squeeze indicator? No, it went down to VWAP. It literally went down to VWAP, started climbing back up. That's when I bought, and then boom, it went up. So it literally, this is a VWAP, this is the price. It just like did that. If I didn't have VWAP, I would be like, why is it randomly starting to go up at this price? What's happening at this price that's causing it to go up? But now I know it's VWAP. So this is why I literally just use VWAP. I literally have one indicator on my chart. I don't have 15, I don't have 26, I don't have paid indicators. I just have one indicator on my chart. That's VWAP. That's the one you should use. So now let's talk about what you should do instead. Instead of using all these weird indicators, how can you use VWAP to make a shit ton of money? So first we'll talk about gappers. This is my entire strategy. This is the strategy I use to turn like 6K into like $1 million. This is the strategy I will die by. I love this strategy. So a gapper is this, right? This is a daily chart. So you can see the stock was going up, down, whatever. And then one day, randomly, it ended up opening over here. So you might ask, okay, why did the stock end up opening over here? Why didn't it open up over here, right? Because it opened over here, it closed over here. So logically speaking, it should open somewhere around over here. Why did it open up all the way to the top? The reason it made this big move overnight is because the company released news, right? I believe this company, they said that they've had this like medicine and it cleared some clinical trial. And because of that, everyone was like, buy the shit out of this stock. And it went crazy, right? Overnight, the stock went up. So in the morning when it opened, 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m., it opened over here. We trade this for many reasons. The main reason we trade this is because it's extremely volatile. When a stock literally doubles overnight, you guarantee, you can bet anything you want that people are going to be interested. People are going to be looking at this. People are going to be like, could this go up? Could this go sideways? Could this go down? We need to see. And so you're going to get a lot of volatility. As well as volatility, you're going to get a lot of quick moves. So when it opens, it's going to go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. If you can just get like a tiny percentage, if this move is all you can get, that's enough. Because that's going to be like a 10% move, right? You don't need to have 50 to 80% moves. You just need tiny moves. And the last main reason that we trade this is because of liquidity. Because it's gapping and everybody sees the same gappers, everyone's going to be trading it. And because everybody trades it, we have a lot of volume. And when we have a lot of volume, we have a lot of liquidity, right? So you're never going to be in a situation where you buy a stock and now you're stuck. You literally can't get out of the stock because there's literally zero volume. You're going to have a lot of volume and you're going to be able to get in and out of the stock quickly, like in a couple of seconds. So those are the main reasons that we trade gappers. So now let's talk about the 5 steps. What 5 steps can we use to trade gappers successfully and obviously use VWAP? So step number 1 is to go to a stock screener. The one I use is TradingView. You can use Finviz, Zendu. There's probably a new stock screener every single day. Use whatever you want, right? The main thing you need to remember is you need to sort by gap percentage and you need a minimum of a 20% gap. So you can see over here, this is a stock screener, right? We have a ticker over here, we have the description or the name of the stock, not really relevant, and then we have the gap percentage over here. As long as you can have the ticker and the gap percentage, you're good to go, right? And again, we need a minimum of 20%. So this specific day, it looked like we had like 50,000 gappers, right? We had so many gappers. Minimum of 20%. That's all you need. Once you have something like this, you can move on to step 2. Super simple. Step number 2 is we need to start watch listing, right? We have like 50 stocks over here. We're not going to trade the 50. We're going to trade 1, right? So how do we make this list smaller so that we only have 1 or 2 stocks left? We start watch listing. What can we look in terms of watch listing so we can start having a smaller list? The first thing is high volume. We have a small float and we have support level. High volume, that's very self-explanatory. We need a stock that's liquid. We need a stock with a lot of volume coming in. Millions of shares. People are buying. No one's like scared. Everyone's buying. We need a stock with a lot of volume. Small float, anything under, I would say like 5 million is really good. If it's even less than that, that's fine. And we need a support level. We need a stock that's making moves and there's an obvious support level. Like, we can easily mark out a support level. That's what we need. So in this specific example from that stock screener, this is the one I really liked. You can see that there's an obvious support level over here, although you can also say there's another support level, maybe somewhere down over here. You can see that there's a lot of volume, a crap ton of volume, price is moving, it's extremely liquid, and float is fine, everything's fine. This is a perfect candidate. And obviously, if you're in my community, I put this stock in the watch list so that everybody in the community knows the stock that I'm going to be watching. So step number 3 is once you have the stock that you're going to be trading, you need to wait until it confirms support, right? I see so many people, what they do is as soon as the stock market opens, they instantly buy a stock. You never want to do that because you don't know where the stock is going to go. The stock will literally gap up, yes, but when market opens, it could just tank. The stock could gap up, and when the market opens, it could go sideways. When the market opens, it could go up. We don't really know. And you don't want to be a person who's buying over here because at this point, you're just gambling your money. You don't know what's going to happen. So we need to wait for the stock to confirm support. Remember that support line we put over here? We need to wait for the stock to get near that and start confirming that that is in fact support. And that's when we want to buy. So for this stock specifically, I set out the support line to be over here. Now, eventually I saw that the stock didn't hold that line at all. It just blew through it. And so I had to make another support line, which I found on this line, right? And I saw that it started holding this level very well. As soon as it went down, volume started coming in, stock started going back up. I was like, perfect. And I bought right over here. That's how simple it is. Very simple stuff. Then we move on to step 4. So again, this is where the VWAP comes in, right? The first reason that we might sell the stock now is because it touches VWAP, right? And this is the exact reason why I sold the stock, so we'll get into it. The second reason we might sell it is because it hits pre-market high, and the third reason is half dollar hold dollar resistance. So for example, VWAP, I'm going to talk about in a second. Pre-market high is simply the highest point in pre-market. So when the stock was gapping up in the first place, and let's say market opens like at this time level, this would be the pre-market high. So if the stock goes down over here, and let's say you buy over here, you would want to sell when it hits the pre-market high, which is this exact level. So that would be your exit. This is your entry, that's your exit. Super simple. So let's go through the VWAP exit. In this case, you can see this purple line is VWAP. I entered over here. A couple of minutes later, it started going up, 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 up. And when I saw that there was a bunch of resistance on VWAP, it just kept selling off. You can see that there's also resistance on VWAP over here. That's exactly when I sold. And that's how easy and simple it can be. We're not overcomplicating it. We don't have 15 indicators. We don't have all these weird Heikinashi candles with the EMAs and all this other stuff. Simple stuff. One indicator. The chart is so clean. You're focused. It's perfect. And that's how it should be. And the last step is to repeat this every single day. Repeat the strategy every single day. This is the strategy I use. I exclusively use this strategy. I don't trade crypto. I don't have Forex or options or any of this stuff. This is the only strategy that I literally make a living off of every single day. So you want to repeat this every single day, and you want to analyze every single trade that you make. Every time you make a win, you make a loss, it goes sideways, maybe you don't trade, whatever the case may be, you want to journal all your trades and you want to analyze. Did I win money today? Okay, I did. Okay, why did I make money? Okay, well, my exit was really good. My entry was really good. Fantastic. On days where you lose money, you ask yourself the same questions. Did I lose money today? Okay, yes, I did. Well, why did I lose money? Maybe I got too nervous. Maybe I didn't have a good night's sleep. Maybe there was too much FOMO. Maybe I was nervous. Maybe I misclicked. Whatever the reason it may be, you need to analyze it and just get better day by day. That's how you get better. Now I'll show you some proof that this works for me and a bunch of others. So this is my community, the Drako room. So if you're not already in here, you need to get here ASAP because people are making wins every single day. This guy made $715. He made $158. He made $314. He made $637, $390, $9, $821. People are winning every single day. It's crazy. When you join the community, you also get access to my watch list channel. This is where I was talking about, where I literally tell people the exact stocks I'm going to be watching and the exact support levels. So I do all the work for you. You don't need to go to the gap scanner and dig through all the stocks because I literally tell you the stocks I'm going to be watching. You also get a free course inside and you get an FAQ section. You also get all of these goodies right over here. In the community, you also get access to all of my trade reviews. These are videos that I make every single time I make a trade, whether it's a win, it's a loss, even on days where I don't trade. So you can see over here, I made a live trade and I made 5,873. And I show you my exact entry, my exact exit, why I bought, why I sold. I tell you everything. Other days I lose money. Some days I make money. Some days I don't trade. So everything is over here. It's extremely useful. It's very good to study from. So if you guys do want to join the community, click the first link in the description to join now for free. because I am going to be closing the group pretty soon to just focus on the members inside. So if you do want to get in, this is a perfect chance to get in. Click the first link in the description and I'll see you guys inside. If you guys want to watch a video where I explain my simple trading strategy that made me $34,000 in 1 month, it's like a full course. It goes through pretty much everything. Click the video that just popped up. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I love this journey so much. It's amazing. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.